I don't know.
All praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rahakodash. The one to say apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect, pushing the word across the four corners of the earth, risking your life to do so. I'm the brother Shaman of the Chicago branch of Great Millstone, and you hate to see it, but at the same time, you have to understand the times that we're in, and you're only going to understand the times that we're in if you understand who you are. All right, and for us, we know that we're the sons of Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. All right, we're the Israelites, so-called black, so-called Native Americans, and of course, so-called Latinos, through the lineage of our fathers, going all the way back to ancient days. All right, and we're definitely in a time of Jacob's trouble. As you can see, they're actually gassing the street, attacking people, paintballs, rubber bullets. That's how it starts, and then it goes to something else. All right, they were hollering about the baby in the car, and them soldiers gave no fucks. They still throwing gas, because that could have easily turned into another situation, all right, which wasn't the time for that. That's all it takes is one wrong bullet, one wrong person, to piss off, and then one side to get inflamed, and then the other side, and then all of a sudden, it becomes live ammunition. All right, and basically they're flooding the streets. All right, and they did that tactically during the holiday season because they know, this is the colder months. People will start to assemble for family gatherings and, fall festivals and all that stuff. So, but you have to understand who you are, and you have to understand who Esau is. All right, which you have brothers here who do lessons in Spanish, and I always notice when they talk to people in Spanish and they talk to their own people usually ignore, fan the hand, No, that's not who we are. That's not who we are. All right. Versus, a nigga come up and argue or say some, give a sacrifice of fools. Which the scriptures do say that, it's better to be silent if you don't know shit. But even, rejecting the word, that results in destruction as well. All right. And this is where we're at, man. Jeremiah 5:6. Wherefore a lion out of the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evening shall spoil them. A leopard shall watch over their cities. All right, and that leopard is ferocious. And you watch these different hunts of the leopard. Leopard is basically the apex predator. They hunt crocs. They hunt anything in their territory. All right, every one that goeth out thence shall be torn in pieces, because their transgressions are many and their backslidings are increased. All right, and transgressions. All right, these people were set up over us because of the transgressions, and you best believe all of these people are going to have their idols out. They got these white idols of Jesus and Mary and all of the other fake saints that don't exist, all the other white saints. All right, and you have to put that away. You have to put those ways away, man. And you hate to see it because it's your own people, even if they don't even acknowledge they're your own people, your own Raza. But at the same time, these are people who have scoffed at the Lord, scoffed at the ministry, scoffed at the brothers. All right. We're not, disparaging, but you got to repent. Right. And we know this pretty soon. Shit. It's going to be our own people. I mean, it's going to be on the Southern Kingdom too, Shalaki. Right. They're going to move over. And they're already, arresting so-called Southern Kingdom. Because really we're all one. It says, how shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me and sworn by them that are no gods. Exactly. When I have fed them to the full, They then committed adultery and assembled themselves by troops in the harlots' houses. They were as fed horses in the morning, every one neighed after his neighbor's wife. Shall I not visit for these things, saith the Lord, and shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? Yeah, yeah. All right, that's spiritual adultery. And of course, it's actual physical adultery too, but spiritual adultery, harlotry is what it's referring to. And of course, we got to go to this one because this is who this is, the modern day Assyrian. You read about the Assyrian. Assyrians were known for their cruelty, during the time of Tobit. And basically they were, Tobit got caught because he was the purveyor, but he would actually bury his kinsmen when he saw them, meaning they were just laying there. All right, they were just laying there. Like I watched this show sometimes, Valuetainment. This guy, Patrick David, Patrick PBD. He's an Assyrian. He'll always refer to, I'm an Assyrian. A lot of them actually know, and they know their history too. Right, but the modern day Assyrian is Esau, Edom, so-called white man. Right, the sooner you acknowledge this and stop worshiping him and worshiping that false image, the sooner you turn away from those whoredoms. All right, it says, "O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation." All right, the Lord's anger, he's using them to wield it. I will send him against a hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and tread them down like the mire of the street. And even, I just noticed that with Issachar too. When you look at the Assyrian cities and the structure, because the Assyrians worship the sun god, which is also the god of war. They would do sacrifices to the sun god. It looks just like, the Aztecs. Same pyramid, these are actually ziggurats. The big mounded structures that go to the top. Basically, this is what Cahokia mounds basically look like. It's them imitating, the Assyrians. That was the last captivity they went into. All right, which is why the whole Assyrian thing is used as an example. All right, the scriptures say, "Envy not thy oppressors, choose none of his ways." The Assyrians will sacrifice you to the sun god. And when you look at the Aztecs, the Incas, some of these different other civilizations of the Northern Kingdom, primarily the Mexicans, they do the same. And that's why I think, in my opinion, they're getting persecuted first. And of course, so-called blacks are next. You're always next on the list. And you look at what's going on with the Northern Kingdom.
Así fueron detenidas familias enteras en el estado mexicano de Chiapas, fronterizo con Guatemala. Bajo la presión de la administración de Donald Trump y en un intento de frenar un éxodo que crece día.
Basically, all of these other they have different migrant kind of camps coming through Mexico to get to the U.S. because the borders were open, but now the borders are closed, so they were all kind of in limbo. But now Mexico is kicking them out, basically, doing the same thing that is being done to them by America. All right, envy not the oppressor, choose none of his ways.
Cada día, las autoridades mexicanas recurren a la deportación y aunque el gobierno de Andrés Manuel López Obrador prometió un trato justo para los migrantes, algunos de los detenidos denunciaron haber recibido todo lo contrario.
So, and that's us, man. We look at things, like I said, first sight, you kind of have pity, like, damn, that's fucked up. And then you start to research things like, okay, I see why the Lord is jacking your ass up.
Desde octubre del año pasado, miles de centroamericanos.
They're watching some of these cartel videos where they cut somebody's head off or flay them, or the Assyrians were doing that kind of shit too. All right, and Assyria would have took over the entire kingdom, right? Because was that in Daniel it talks about the Assyrio-Babylonian Empire, but an angel actually stopped them, and this is 2 Kings 18. This is 2 Kings 18 and 13. Now in the 14th year of King Hezekiah, did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the fenced cities of Judah and took them. And Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria to Lachish, saying, I have offended, return from me. That which thou puttest on me will I bear. And the king of Assyria appointed unto Hezekiah, king of Judah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. And Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of the Lord and in the treasures of the king's house. At that time did Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of the Lord and from the pillars which Hezekiah king of Judah had overlaid, and gave it to the king of Assyria. And the king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rabsaris and Rabshakeh from Lachish to Hezekiah with a great host against Jerusalem. And they went up and came to Jerusalem. And when they come up, they came and stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is in the highway of the fullest field. And when they had called to the king, there came out to them Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder. And Rabshakeh said unto them, Speak ye now to Hezekiah. Thus saith the great king, the king of Assyria, What confidence is this wherein thou trustest? Thou sayest, but they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for the war. Now on whom dost thou trust that thou rebellest against me? Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt unto all that trust him. But if ye say unto me, We trust in the Lord our power, is not that he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah have taken away, and have said to Judah and Jerusalem, Ye shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem? Now therefore I pray thee, give pledges to my lord the king of Assyria, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able on thy part to set riders upon them. Now then wilt thou turn away the face of one captain of the least of my master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? Am I now come up without the Lord against this place to destroy it? The Lord said unto me, Go up against this land and destroy it. Then said Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, and Shebna and Joah unto Rabshakeh, Speak, I pray thee, to thy servants in the Syrian language, for we understand it, and talk not with us in the Jews' language in the ears of the people that are on the wall. And basically, they were trying to bribe the king with all it was saying. Like this whole thing, we bring out the bruised reed, you lean on it. So he's saying, like, what are you saying? You rebel against me. Tell you what, we'll give you these horses. What are you talking about? You know, they're trying to bribe them to basically surrender. All right, verse 25. Am I now come up without the Lord against this place to destroy it? The Lord said to me, Go up against this land and destroy it. And I'm going to just jump through to the next chapter, but you should read the whole account because it's very interesting. You know, it shows you how, talks of war were done. You know, they would actually try to, that's actually in the law. You know, you, before you go conquer a nation, you're supposed to, give them a chance to become your slaves. Hey, you can become my slave, but you got to surrender. And then if they refuse, then you fuck them up. Right? Or you send your heralds to them. And that's what was being done in like I said, in the land of Judah. All right, 2 Kings 19 and 20. Because this is where the counsel of the Lord comes in. This is how you know if you win a battle, you lose a battle, which way to go. All right, and this is what a lot of our people are lacking right now. Without the division, the people perish. That's what's going on. People are getting fucked up. People are confused. All right, afraid. You're supposed to be vigilant. You're supposed to understand who you're dealing with. A lot of our people come here and, they work hard, but they come here with hopes of that this place is going to prosper them and it's going to make them rich and fortunate, and they'll be able to run back home and be rich there and enrich their country and all these dreams. Look, this is Babylon. This is a place of judgment. Everybody here is going to be caught up in judgment. All right, but back to this, 2 Kings 19 and 20. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith the Most High of Israel. So this is the important part. That which thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib king of Assyria, I have heard. This is the word that the Lord hath spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed, and against whom hast thou exalted thy voice? Like, who the fuck you talking to? Who you raising your voice at? And lifted up thine eyes on high. Who you looking at? Even against the Holy One of Israel. By thy messengers thou hast reproached the Lord, and hast said, With the multitude of my chariots I am come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and will cut down the tall cedar trees thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof. And I will enter into the lodgings of his borders, and into the forest of his Carmel. I have digged and drunk strange waters, and with the sole of my feet have I dried up the rivers of the besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient times that I have formed it? Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste fenced cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power, they were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetops, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. And basically that's what he said. Look, the only reason you're doing this is because I'm allowing you to do it. That's what you have to understand. All right, he said, what? Now have I brought to pass. This is him speaking on behalf of the Lord. But I know thy abode, and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me. Because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come up into my ears, therefore I will put my hook in thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips. Right, which the Assyrians were known for doing that. They would put a hook into your, I believe it was a hook in your lip. And you check this out. They put a hook, they actually tied a hook and string onto people's lips. And they would pull to force you to go. That's a form of torture. Look at this. Finishing off, and I will turn thee back by the way which thou camest. And this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such things as grow of themselves, and in the second year that which springeth of the same, and in the third year sow ye, and reap, and plant vineyards, and eat the fruits thereof. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall yet again take root downward, and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape of Mount Zion, the zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same he return, and shall not come into this city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city, to save it for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000, so 180,000 men. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshiping in the house of Nisroch, his god, that Adramelech and Sherezer, his sons, smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia. And Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead. So they backstabbed him. All right, but basically an angel protected Jerusalem. And that's the elect in this time. Right? That's the remnant in this time. Like he said, for I will defend this city to save it for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake. The remnant of David had to be kept. And that's the times that we're in now, right? The time where the remnant of the house of David that's being built up is going to be kept and protected very well. All right, so if your family gets in a situation, you see people you know get in a situation, all you can really do is pray to the Lord, but it's ultimately in the Lord's hands what happens to him. Man's goings of the Lord. This is Psalms 125 and 1. They that trust in the Lord shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. So the mountains are round about Jerusalem, so the Lord is round about his people from henceforth even forever. For the rod of the wicked, right, this rod of this evil Assyrian, shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous, lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity. All right, so you want to keep your hands from iniquity. All right, and the rod of the wicked ain't gonna get you. All right, now the scriptures do talk about some of you will be cast into prison, but ultimately the fate of the elect is to stand forever, right, to escape whatever hardships, whatever situations, whatever little setbacks ultimately are going to be for come-ups in the end. Right? Do good, O Lord, unto those that be good, and to them that are upright in their hearts. As for such as turn aside unto their crooked ways, the Lord shall lead them forth with the workers of iniquity, but peace shall be upon Israel. So 2/3 of our people are going to be found in the lot of the wicked, right? And you're going to be punished justly so. Right, and that's what we're seeing. So, Lord willing, is edifying. You know, understand the times that we're in, man. Where they're not playing. Right, they're actually going after people. They're actually head hunting. They're finding areas, setting up shop, and you already know they're tapping phones, doing everything. All right, dealing with a leper. You watch a leper hunt. There's some of the best hunters out of there. So we have to make sure we stay vigilant, you know, and ultimately pray to Yahweh Shema Shah for that hedge, and he's going to give that hedge, right? And that's going to continue, and that goes regardless of what, like we said, what journey you go through, because you might have to go through something like this, right? But if the Lord is with you, he's with you. It said what? No harm shall touch his elect. Touch not my anointed, do my service no harm. I call Allah Yamla Yahweh Shema Shai, Barak call Bakharyam.